This is the best mouse right now, so let's talk about it. The OP18k is the latest offering from the company Endgame gear, and this is the Zonkonig M2K. Well, not really. This is just the PCB inside of a 3D printed shell. Now, the reason that I'm mentioning this mouse in the first place is up until the release of the OP18k, this was the best performing mouse on the market, which I'll touch base on a bit later. The unboxing experience is very straightforward. We have the EGG packaging, but this time we have the whole mouse on display, which is very neat looking. And underneath the cover, we do have the package containing a manual, grip tape, a cable organizer, skates with holes, and also a screwdriver, which you'll also see a bit later. Now, a few months back I made an impressions video on the OP1WE, and everything has virtually stayed the same here. The shape is still very unique, and you can't call it a mini version of the XM2WE, as it does keep a very nice length near the exact same as the XM2, but just slightly narrowed down, with a less aggressive back flare out, grooves in the M1 and M2 clicks for some extra comfort, and just overall changes to have the structure be stronger and just better tension feeling clicks. But also the tension can be determined by the switches that you use. Yeah, the OP18k is still hot swap. On the bottom we have a great size set of skates, which does also give us access to the screws in the back to dismantle the mouse. But also if you do prefer to have fuller skates, whether that be the ones included, they'll all have the same hole so you can still access the screws without needing to damage your skates. Now after opening the mouse, you will find that the OP1 makes use of a separate PCB system, where the main PCB is tied to the base and the switches are in their individual PCBs, connected to the main PCB, which you can detach and swap out for some other switches. But on top of that, EGG has produced their own version of these PCBs that do have full hot swap capability. Now I don't have those PCBs on me, but I do have the first version of it coming from a Chinese manufacturer way back when the OP1WE released. And how the system works is basically that you take the PCB, pop in any switch that you like, except for opticals, as they don't have the same sockets as mechanical switches. Then just pop them into their slots and screw them in. But also the thing that you won't be able to get is the original switches separately from the OP18k. These are the newer kailh GX mechanical switches, as they aren't available to purchase except on the OP18k PCBs. But now we do get into the internals and the performance of this beast. Now, like majority of mice now, we do have the PAW3395 sensor, but the OP18k uses a Nuvoton MCU, which is a bit different as we do tend to see more Nordic MCUs. The Nuvoton is a high-speed MCU, which does play into the fact that the mouse can reach higher rates of performance, hence the name the OP18k. But unlike most high-performing mice, the OP1 has a double function. Basically a separate stream which splits the click latency from the sensor latency, which is the exact same case as the M2K. So the clicks always run at 8000 Hz, whilst the sensor can be set anywhere from 1000 to 8000 Hz. Even on slightly more lower end builds, this still can be taken advantage of. And as out of my personal experience, my older build having a 3600X struggled heaps with anything from 2000 to 4000 Hz. And that was because of the sensor and the clicks together needing more power to run fluidly. But also to break it down a bit further, in a very basic way of explaining. Inside a mouse switch we do have a click bar. And then when that bar snaps down from its top position to the bottom, we do get a click registration. But with the OP1, as soon as that bar leaves the top position, it registers the click without the click even fully happening yet. Even if that is by 1 millisecond, that is a big performance boost for this mouse. And considering the click latency is kept at 8000 Hz and the kailh GX speed mode is stable now since the release, I do get a very decent average of 0.08 millisecond click latency. Now I'm obviously underselling this because 0.08 milliseconds is absolutely crazy. Do I notice it? Meh, not really that much. I do have a pretty good system, but it is pretty handicapped by this crappy 144 Hz monitor. But it gets the job done. But the thing that I do tend to notice is as soon as this mouse is pushed towards 4000 or 8000 Hz, it's actually very noticeable, even on a 144 Hz cap. Now the best thing considering that it's wired is that it will take 100% advantage of all that performance. And you don't even have to worry about the mouse dying because it doesn't have a battery. But also the whole situation is just a double-edged sword no matter how you look at it. If it were wireless, it would die relatively quickly. But considering that it's wired, it will stay in the back of your mind the whole time, and it will cause a hindrance that there is a cable, and you will be in fear of something maybe snagging on it or just hindering your performance, which can also be taken care of with a bungee, but that is up to the user to decide. Now the mouse is disgusting at performing, but on top of that there's also not a lot of games or software that does take advantage of anything above 4000 Hz. But besides all that though, my conclusion is basically this is the best mouse on the market right now. It is $75 US, hot swap capability, a great shape, and also the best performance hands down. But it might just not be the mouse for you. Whether that be because the mouse is wired, which I know is a big deal breaker for people, especially in 2024, and also it might just not be the shape for you. It is a bit small for my liking, and the wire does influence my experience a little bit. But also at the end of the day, I do prefer my bigger mice, hence why I'm waiting for the XTEN 8K to release, because currently I'm using the Lamzu Tachi, the Razer Viper V3, and also the Wise Owl Cloud, which will soon be replaced by the Beast X Max. But like I said, the OP18k is only filling a void for me currently, as I am waiting for the XM2 8K to release. But that's all for today guys, thanks so much for watching, take care, and